Welcome to K-Drama School. I'm your host, Grace Jung, and class is now in session. Today I'm going to talk about the show Stairway to Heaven, which has the same director as Beautiful Days, but a different writer. Stairway to Heaven was written by Park Hae-kyung, and the shows that this guy Lee Jang-soo directed, he's known for this like Heaven trilogy: Beautiful Days, Stairway to Heaven, and Tree of Heaven. Tree of Heaven I have not seen. I'm probably never going to see, but Beautiful Days is a good one, and Stairway to Heaven is considered like a Hallyu classic. You could tell that the director for Beautiful Days and Stairway to Heaven is the same because there are many stylistic choices and production design choices that are similar. For instance, there are a lot of moments when Kwon Sang-woo tries to be this smoldering, silent, serious, toxic, rich guy in Stairway to Heaven, trying to emulate Lee Byung-hun from Beautiful Days, but it's terrible because Kwon Sang-woo's not that guy. You know, it's impossible for him to be that guy. Whereas for Lee Byung-hun, it's easy for him to be that guy. In Beautiful Days, Lee Byung-hun's character rents out a hotel suite just to propose to Cheju's character, and he drinks a lot of whiskey beforehand because he's so nervous. But he does it in this very like collected, cool way. But in Stairway to Heaven, Kwon Sang-woo's character does the exact same thing. He rents out an entire hotel suite just to impress Chiju's character and lights candles on a cake and shit and like cries while looking at her face. And I'm like, have you kids ever heard of fucking? I mean, you're in a hotel room. Like, that's what that's there for. What are you doing sitting there touching each other's faces and crying over cake, huh? The restaurant locations are also the same. For instance, in Stairway to Heaven, Songju and Chungsa have an uncomfortable dinner with Yuri present because there's this like love triangle situation going on. And that was filmed at the same restaurant where Chiju, Ryu Siwon, and Lee Byung-hun's character eat at, and also share this uncomfortable love triangle dinner as well. Beautiful Days has a lot of drama, but I feel like it's a tasteful drama, similar to how Arrival was. You know, a tasteful sci-fi. But Stairway to Heaven is a mess. It's called makjang. Makjang literally just means the worst of the worst, a hot mess. And it's like, just imagine 5 red flags that are lit on fire with like dead babies dangling. There's like bloodshed and tears everywhere. Nobody knows who or how this will be cleaned up. But you keep watching because you got to see how it ends. You got to see what this was all about. What was this journey about? So makjang is a strategy. Okay, makjang as a genre, it's a strategy. It is televisuality, as John Caldwell would say in his book Televisuality. Televisuality has a lot of definitions, but one of the meanings is the aesthetic of excess and style. So Caldwell discusses this more in the context of 1980s television with the rise of cable and the hyper competition that broadcasters were facing with their own decline in ratings. So this was out of a crisis that television was facing, and whether it be serialized TV shows, reality TV, or the news, television felt this need to go all out of control, wacky, excessive, sensational, and gaudy with their visual product. So it's very on brand for the 80s, right? Just think about the hair and the pants and the accessories that they wore back then. Television was just as being, over the top as they were. Makjang is the same. Makjang is a response to the IMF crisis in the 90s for Korea, and it's a way to get the people to tune in and to watch, but also to buy. So viewers in Korea would see accessories exchanged on TV shows and go buy them, whether it be cell phone chains at the time or necklaces like from that show Winter Sonata, or hats and scarves like in the case with Stairway to Heaven. And this was very common in the early 2000s. I remember this. It's like the early 2000s in South Korea was like 1980s United States for TV shows. So makjang is excess, but more in terms of affect. Put a lot of emotion in there. And how could there not be? Right? The IMF crisis was a big shifter for Koreans. It was emasculating for men. Suicide rates skyrocketed. It was burdensome for women, right? Because it set them back decades of progress. A lot of them were, laid off from their office jobs. One could say that women were forced back into domestic duties. That was, yeah, okay, there was some truth to that. However, the fact is, a lot of these women also had to work because their men at home were also laid off. So these women had to go back to doing a lot of pink collar jobs. Okay, so like waitressing, working in retail, etc. So it's a shame for the entire nation, right, to get another country to bail them out. So that's why the IMF crisis is also emasculating for men, because men equate money with masculinity. So the excess you see on television is also in part a response to the barrenness that the Koreans felt. One way that humans respond to numbness is excessive consumption. That includes food, alcohol, and shopping. So I remember in the early 2000s, Korean fashion was like really, it was really a lot. Like there were a lot of accessories, things dangling everywhere, there were like bell bottom jeans with acid wash and cat whiskers on top of that. There were like when the distressed jeans, okay, so excess like to show that it's been used up, but that's also fashion. There were a lot of like brooches and chains like dangling over t-shirts. There were hats with big brooches, big jewelry. I just remember early 2000s fashion was just like a lot. It was just a lot in Korea. Some of that over the top flexing through consumer goods is just to say, I'm hiding my poverty. Forget being poor. I got money to spend. You guys are losers. I have money. That's how the nouveau riche respond. It's like poor people who become millionaires, they get real tacky with their spending. But this is like middle class people expressing similar decadence through fast fashion, cheap spending, but on an excess of goods. So it's a way to hide their money problems, but of course, they're just revealing their money problems by being excessive with the cheap stuff. Today's guest is Christoph Schmid. He is a dear friend, a very funny comedian based in Berlin. I once hosted a variety show at the Comedy Cafe in Berlin, and Christoph was my sidekick, and he was like the perfect person to have. He's great with improv. He's a great straight man, but can also get a little quirky himself. And I love Christoph. He's a father. I believe his son is about 2 years old now. Christoph is German, but he grew up in Venezuela, so he's very fluent in Spanish and German, but also English. And this is very common among people everywhere else in the world. They're fluent in multiple languages, but Americans, we're fluent in one. And I feel like we need to really expand our repertoire and our cultural abilities. I always love talking to Christoph because he's not only a very funny guy, but he also shares really great insights and stories. Plus, he's a very good person. So let's talk to Christoph Schmidt. There he is. How's it going, my man?
It's all right.
Yeah?
Should I complain? I don't know.
Yeah, man. You're a dad. It's quarantine. Is it still lockdown over there?
Yeah, till I think end of March.
Till the end of March? So the end of this month.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Well,
what they say.
that's what they say,
That's what
but
they say.
that's what those people say, whoever they are. Yeah.
They,
The royal they.
the man. That's what the man says.
It's good seeing you, man. Oh
Yeah,
my
you
God,
too.
it's been forever.
Yeah.
Is your son feeling better?
Yeah. He was fine. Like he got a vaccine,
Oh,
not for corona, but for
uh,
I don't know
for
some
something
shit.
else. Mumps and measles,
Yeah, some
chicken
baby
pox,
stuff,
some baby shit.
some
Uh-huh.
baby shit, and
Yeah.
yeah, then he had a slight fever, I guess.
Oh, okay. All right. He'll
So
live.
weird. I feel like I'm inverted.
You're
I'm ugly or
inverted?
inverted.
No, no, no. You look great. You look the same.
To you, but
You
I
look
never see
exactly.
myself like, is that uglier this way? It makes me
Man.
uneasy.
No, no, you look great. I usually just hide myself. Like, I hide my face on the window so I don't look at myself,
Hmm.
and it helps sometimes. But
How do you do that?
I just open up another.
Oh shit, I made myself bigger.
I just open up another browser or a window,
All
and I
right,
just
yeah,
like
okay.
cover my face. Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
good trick.
But I mean, like, what's fatherhood been like for you?
Uh, it. I don't know. So it is. It is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, it's still like that. Okay.
No, I mean it's a lot better than it used to
Uh-huh.
be. Like it's more fun because now you can
Okay.
actually do shit
Yeah.
with your kid. But
Before
before it
you were
was
just
just
like
nothing.
not
And
sleeping. Yeah.
yeah, you were not sleeping. The kid was not sleeping. The kid is just
Yeah.
some weird thing that you can just not let die.
Yeah. Yeah. Just have to make it live.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
exactly. Just
Yeah.
yeah. But
But
now
now he's about 2, right? He's
he's
getting to be
one and a
2.
half.
Okay.
Yeah, but now he's
So,
walking and he's about to
wow.
start talking.
Wow.
Yeah, he
Has
says a
he said
couple words.
anything yet?
Yeah, like he says, I don't know, like dad, mom.
He says dad and mom. That's
He
so
says
sweet.
hands and
Hands.
socks.
Oh, wow. He's smart.
Yeah, yeah. He puts socks on his hands and
That's when you know you have a
very smart
genius.
kid. Yeah, fucking genius.
Yeah, yeah. A Mozart in your hands. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
great.
Yeah. Was
Well, that's
Mozart
exciting.
wasn't he like? Didn't he hear anything? Like was Mozart like that?
No, that was Beethoven.
That was Beethoven. Shit.
Yeah.
Got
This
my.
is your own people we're talking about.
They're not my
Beethoven, Mozart.
people.
Okay, well, they're kind of your people. They're
I
like maybe
guess
half your people.
half
Yeah.
my people. Yeah, I guess
Yeah.
didn't get any of the
Um,
royalties though.
yeah. I mean, but it's kind of a weird time, no, to have a young child like, you can't really see your family as much and
Yeah, I
all
guess.
that fucking weirdness.
Yeah.
You're just like, I don't care. It's better
Yeah, I
that they're
mean,
away.
it's not like it's not like he sees his grandma that much.
Mm.
'Cause she's the worst. No. It's not because he can't. It's just because I don't want to.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I hear you. Um, are you working right now? What's going on?
Yeah, sort of. I still like graphic stuff, but
It's all remote, so I guess it doesn't
yeah,
really change.
yeah. Got laid off though.
Mhm.
Like I still have 6 months on my contract, but
Oh shit.
yeah, good times.
That sucks.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to hear
There's
that.
no comedy, so you can't even make money with that. It's not like I ever made money with it, but the illusion.
But yeah, but I mean, you could get a beer for the night, that kind of
Exactly.
thing.
It's you get a
Uh,
beer, get a little bit
yeah,
of
you get the
nutrients, I
beer.
guess.
You...
It's
I
like,
actually kind of stopped drinking.
that's why you're so. That's why you're not fun anymore, right?
Yeah, that's why I'm boring right now. That's why I'm a big lump on a log.
Which
I
is why you say
no,
like,
I
yeah, this is great.
that's awesome. Rock on. Nah, I was drinking like almost every single night of the pandemic, like pretty much every single American was doing since March of last year, but
Right.
then it started getting out of hand. Like I was like breaking wine glasses by myself because I was like too drunk. It's like stupid, Like
How do
why
you
am
were
I
how you
huh?
breaking
I
them?
was I dropped it by
Ah,
accident
I thought
and
you were like grabbing them.
breaking it with my strength.
Yeah, it's just
No, no, no. I was just accidentally knocking them over because
right.
I was like too smashed. And it's like pathetic. I'm like by myself in my apartment, knocking over my own wine glasses and breaking them. And I'm drunk and I have to sweep it up and clean. Cleaning glass is a pain in the ass, you
Yeah,
know?
that's true.
And I'm just like, this isn't relaxing. This is stressful. So I kind of laid off drinking. And yeah, now I just, you know, take a little weed every now and then, some mushrooms every now and then, but alcohol,
Alcohol.
yeah, I'm kind of,
Alcohol, I guess it's not the best, but I don't know. It's also fun,
it's
I
true.
guess.
It is fun. It's fun when it's fun,
Yeah, I
but
get it.
the,
Like if it's a weird habit, then
mm-hmm,
I feel like it's the same with any type of shit. Like if it becomes a
mm-hmm,
habit, then it's like kind of like it's a drag.
yeah, yeah, exactly,
It's like
exactly.
it's like when you smoke weed and you can't go on stage without smoking weed, and you're like, ah, fuck. Yeah, I don't.
Oh, Are you like that?
No, I never. The thing is, I can't go on stage after I smoke weed because I just stand there like,
Yeah.
uh, how about this guy? A lot of hair, am I right?
You just blazed out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people just go like,
I
okay, it's not the best.
I'm I'm amazed by people who are functional after getting high on weed because I'm not. Like
Yeah,
I like to I'll take edibles late at night when I have nothing left to do and I could just kick it and just like relax by watching something or do a little coloring. And that's it. I don't
coloring.
like yeah, I draw sometimes. I
All
color.
right, okay.
And I don't like to, sometimes people are like, let's go bowling after smoking weed. I was like, what? You want to carry heavy balls and wear other people's shoes and throw them down a huge lane like after smoking weed? That's crazy, you know? It's not like a weed activity for me.
It's more like a drunk activity.
Yeah. Yeah, like a beer, some french fries,
Yeah,
like then I'll do it.
something that can get
But like
embarrassing. You know, that you puke out the French fries on the bowling alley. Ugh.
oh God, somebody has to walk over and everybody's staring at you.
Kid's
I
birthday.
once yeah, the kids are like they always stare. My friend of mine, we all went bowling and she accidentally slipped and fell on her back
All
and
right.
hit her head at the bowling alley. That was embarrassing for her. And I mean, we were all shocked, and we were also like afraid for her,
Oh,
a
that was
concussion or
that
whatever. She
hard.
was fine.
Like,
It
was it
was
really brutal or what?
like her head bounced off the floor. Let's say, like we saw a definite bounce. So we were initially all very concerned, but she kept saying, "No, no, no, it's fine. It's fine." Like when they're embarrassed, like they try to like say it's fine. But I'm pretty sure she had like dizzy spells for like a few days.
It's like, no, it's fine. And then it starts. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, yeah. They start slurring their words,
Yeah,
so like
don't worry
blood
about
stuff's
it.
coming out of their eye. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was like that. She's had several moments like that. Like we once went to the beach together and a big wave came and then her bikini top slipped off and like we all saw her boobs. And that was also like a moment where she like pretended like it didn't happen, but it's like everybody at this beach just saw your tits.
That has happened
They
to
look
me
good.
too.
Yeah.
Every time I go to the beach.
Every time your tits just flail
Yeah,
out.
people just
Yeah.
start staring at my tits. They go like, bro, need to do something.
Bro, my eyes are up here.
Stop staring at them.
Yeah, they don't like to be stared at. Okay? It's the one thing they don't like. They like everything else.
Yeah, but I
They
like
don't
when they
like to be
stare at
stared
me. I
at.
just jump, head first into the surf.
Yeah.
My top won't come off. Oh my god.
Oh my God. No, I do miss comedy though. I mean, I feel you in that arena.
Do you do
But
any online?
Moni Zhang actually reached out and was like, "Do you want to do a storytelling thing in a couple of weeks?" I said, "Okay." Um,
Or that
I,
mental
s-
thing?
I think so. Some kind of
All
storytelling,
right.
something. Yeah, and it's a lot of work putting that kind of online shit together. It's
Yeah.
a big pain in the ass. So
I think it's a
respect for
lot of
people who are
work, but
doing it.
it's, I feel like the payoff is so.
Oh,
It's the worst.
yeah. It's the worst.
It's the worst. It's not fun.
I fucking hate it. I actually don't like doing it.
Yeah, I think I did 3, and every time I was like, oh, it's the worst. Like, what is this?
Yeah,
The
it's like
sets get really dark. You're like, what are you guys doing at your house?
I know.
You suck.
Yeah, I know. Like lit a candle. You're by yourself. Lighting a candle, drinking wine. Like, why are you setting the mood, huh? So you could go and masturbate while you cry later. Like, it's really sad. I know it bums me out.
Yeah.
It was like to the point where I got booked on an online show. I really didn't want to do it, but I said yes because, it's been a while since I had done an online show. And like I didn't want to do it the whole time. Even like the day of 15 minutes before the show, I was like, should I cancel? Like I really did not want to do it.
Right.
but I did it anyway. There was no payoff. It was the worst.
It
But I was
was.
just still like, okay, I still did it. You know,
How many
they
people?
did it for me. I don't know. It was like on Twitch, so you don't even see people. You don't even see reactions.
Okay.
You're speaking into the ether of a nothingness, which it felt like praying to God. Yeah, it felt
I can't hear him.
exactly. I
He's
can't
not
see him.
answering.
I can't hear him, but I'm supposed to believe
Yeah.
that they're there
And
and
they're having a
talk.
great time.
And they're slapping their knees, yucking it up. I gotta believe. Yeah. Yeah. It felt like Christianity. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like
I,
it. Even if you can see the people, I hate looking at people's living rooms, and
yeah.
then you see them doing all these other random shit. Like they get up
Yeah.
in the
Like,
middle of your set and then just go get a slice of pizza, or some person is just squatting in the corner or some shit like that. You just what the fuck? Like you don't do that in a normal comedy setting. You know, you just go like, yeah, whatever. Just eat a soup. While you're going like, yeah, well, I don't know.
yeah. Eat a soup. Yeah. It's like the worst thing to eat at a comedy show.
Yeah, but the people are like, oh, we just ordered sushi. It just came in because also people always have the mics are not muted, so you hear their laughter, but then you hear everything they're doing. You know, like the doorbell rings, and you're like, oh my
Oh,
god, the
God.
sushi's here.
They're like pulling the utensils out of the
Yeah,
wrappers. You
and
hear
you're
the
just like,
crunch, crunch,
well, and last night when
crunch, 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 crunch. It's a nightmare.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, in that regard, you have to ask yourself: is this for us or is this for them? Who is this exactly for? Like that question becomes suddenly
yeah.
super
I'm
relevant.
really sure. I don't see anyone benefiting of anything of that.
Yeah.
Because for I feel bad for them in a sense that
Uh huh.
it's a Friday night and you're watching me doing this shit on a computer while sitting in your
Yeah.
PJs eating soup or some shit like that. And
I know.
like
They could be
your
watching
life sucks
Netflix.
more than mine. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like seeing into each other's lives
Yeah,
that you never wanted to see and growing depressed over it. And this was supposed to be a comedy show. Is that
exactly.
great? We opened the lid into the uncanny and now we can never go back.
No, I don't think we'll
Yeah,
ever
let's
be
just
back.
kill ourselves. Let's just jump off a bridge like right now.
I think that's what they want.
Okay, yeah.
I think they're
If
just
that's what they
like
want.
I think they're like in their government buildings. They're just waiting. Like Jesus, we're like 5 months overdue. The mass
Mm-hmm.
suicides. Where are they? You guys told us that
Where is
we're
it
gonna
happening? Yeah.
nothing.
Do
People are really
do
like
it, comedy producers. Make it happen.
make it
Yeah.
happen.
The comedy producers are in on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing's changed. Nothing's new. Like you haven't developed any new habits or hobbies like
New
during this
habits.
lockdown
Um, no, I'm
or something for yourself.
writing. I wrote a TV show
Oh, great.
with
Yeah.
with my this friend Xander. That you remember, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
Yeah, we
course.
wrote a TV show. It's see what turns out with that. Or
For Germany?
yeah,
Nice. It's a comedy, I assume.
yeah. It's a
Nice.
comedy about a small city in the east, and that they have a new mayor that is more progressive. That's
But
it.
the
Yeah,
city folk are a bit more backwards.
yeah. I guess. Yeah, it's like that. It was supposed to be this eastern western divide, but it turned out to be something completely different at the end.
Hmm.
Like now it's just
Interesting.
some wacky thing, with
Uh-huh.
I don't know, with time travel and shit. And it got out of hand fast. I must say. It's like the first episode was still like very tame, the pilot, and then
Yeah.
it just took a weird turn, and I don't know what happened. So I don't think this will
That's
ever get produced. So it doesn't matter.
but that's when it gets interesting. Who wants to see something that's like regular, you know? Like you want to see something weird and wacky and interesting.
maybe in America, but I don't think the Germans are into that whole thing.
They want to see the same old shit.
Yeah, they want to go like, oh, the lady of the house was murdered last night. Who was it? Oh, it was the gardener.
The gardener.
Yeah, I don't know why.
It's
I
always
don't know why I use that
the
accent.
gardener.
It was a very weird accent to use for a German person.
Yeah, it just came out of nowhere. It's the gardener.
The gardener.
No, I've been thinking of like, working on a TV show as well. Bought a book and everything. It's like that's like part of the deal in LA is like you can't just be a comedian. That's what I'd like to be. I'd like to be just a stand up and only do live shows, be on the road, stage time. That's all I would like to do. And like I just want to have a TV spot just so that I have like one TV credit so that I could sell tickets. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that's it. But you have to do all this other bullshit in LA, which is annoying. You have to like have a pilot ready. You have to have a couple screenplays, have a couple films, just in case you get picked up. It's like
You
it's all
never
this
know.
pressure. It's all this pressure. Everybody around me, like I was just talking to Huli yesterday. I got a DM from a Fox like TV show producer who
Right.
does this singing game show thing. Zero interest in it, right? I have zero interest. It's like not at all my cup of tea. I could never see myself doing this. I would be miserable. Like the moment I got the message, I was like already miserable. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so off brand for
But
me.
what did they want you to do?
They wanted me to submit a tape and like showcase my singing ability, and I'm like, no. Like I would never ever. But it's like it's an opportunity, So
Right.
I'm like, should I, And I was like thinking about it for a full day, and by the next day, I was just like, no way. There's no way in hell I could do this. So I just emailed the producer back. I recommended two of my comedian friends who would do something like this. They're like show business whores. Like they would love an opportunity like this.
Right.
So I just recommended those two people, and they said, I'm out. I'm not doing it. And they were like, that's cool. Like, we respect that. No
They
problem.
were like, "That's it. You're done. You're done in this town.
And it's over. Move to Ohio or
It's
something.
over.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
you're
She spat
rejecting
on the
us.
ground. Yeah.
What's the matter
You
with you?"
say no to us? To us?
Exactly.
Fox?
Fox.
I'm like, that's right. To Fox and Ken Jung. Yeah. Just go fuck
Go
yourselves.
fuck
Yeah.
yourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that special was
I,
so awful.
dude, I as a fellow Korean American, which is what Ken Jung is and I am, I don't find him funny. Like
Mm.
I respect his hustle. I think he's a great comedic actor.
Right.
I don't think he's a stand-up comic.
No, I don't think so either. I think it's more like cringy when you watch it. That you're like,
It's like accidentally cringe comedy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Then yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's the bad thing. That if it was intentionally cringe, you would be like, yeah, this is amazing. But
Yeah.
it's not.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is
It's
so
not.
bad.
No, it's painful. But he started out as a stand-up. That's the fucked up thing. Like he started out over like where he used to go to school at Duke, I think, like or Dartmouth, Durham. It was in like North Carolina somewhere.
Right.
And yeah, I was just like, bro, I can't I can't watch you. And I was having lunch with a couple Korean American comics the other day who are in LA, and we were just kind of like, yeah, he's a bit of like an Uncle Tom, like an Asian Uncle Tom, because he panders to like the white crowd a lot, and that's
Right.
how he got to be that successful, is because he makes fun of his Asian identity a lot, and that's why I can't do that fucking show, because that's what they wanted me to do. They wanted me to make an ass of myself on national television by singing like shit. And I told them, I was
Right.
like, I'm not an amazing singer, but I'm like a decent singer, Like I could hang at a karaoke bar for 4 hours. And she was like, if you're not amazing, you have to be bad. It's like there's no in between, there's no
Right.
gray
Okay.
because it's television. They hire like a coach to make you perform your worst self. And I'm like, this is such a Ken Jeong kind of thing. And I was like, I can't do it.
So they
I'm
actually have a
sorry.
coach that teaches you how to be shit.
A
That's great.
vocal coach and a choreographer
I think I could have a career
to
in that.
make him the worst.
Yeah, yeah. If you
Yeah.
want to be the worst, I can help you with that.
If you want to be the worst possible self,
You
yeah,
can,
I'm your guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Charge.
How would you?
I'll undercharge. You know, that's how bad I am.
Yeah, yeah, on their dime. Yeah, yeah. You get paid $25,000 a month to make them look like complete shit, sound like shit, dance like shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
It's an
think that's a
amazing
great
job,
career
actually.
though.
It is. Very low pressure,
Yeah, I
you know?
mean,
You just don't have to give a fuck. Just don't even show up to work.
yeah, it's at that point when they start singing and then they actually hit a note and you're like, oh my god, what is happening? No, you're supposed to be
No,
the
no,
worst.
no. You're supposed to showcase your worst self. Yeah, I think that's literally how it's done. And I was just
Yeah,
like, no way.
I mean, I guess everything is exaggerated. I knew one person that was. I don't think she took part in the. How's it called over there? That talent show, is it American Idol? Is it no?
Oh, America's Got Talent?
Yeah, America's Got Talent, but the German version. She was invited to do that or to audition for that. But she has this
Mm-mm.
weirdest skill. Like it's like these. It's like these inline skates, but they only have like one roll
Okay.
underneath, and you put like shoes on it. Like you're
Okay.
like with your street shoes, and you just step on that rolly thing, and then they do shit. But it looks so stupid. Like when you see it, it's like, yeah, I mean, there's some skill to it, but I don't see that as a talent. It's like
Yeah.
it looks stupid.
Yeah. Yeah. It's something you see kids doing on the street.
Yeah, like those kids that have those rolly things underneath the shoes. That you always go like, hope he falls and breaks his face.
Yeah.
Man, it never happens though.
No.
Sadly.
They somehow they somehow stay up. So that was gonna be her
That
talent
was
that she
going
was
to be her
gonna
talent, but
showcase?
then I think she was deemed to be too. That I think they realized it wasn't a talent at the end. Like they were like, no, this is. I think this is not good enough. Like this is not the worst. It's something in between that nobody gives a fuck about. You know?
Yeah, you can't be in the gray.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can't be moderate.
Yeah,
Mm.
because
You have to
they
be
do
extreme.
showcase the worst people or like the best at something.
Exactly.
And you come out, I don't
Exactly.
know, doing something semi okay, and people are gonna be like, all right, but what is
It's
this?
like I could watch my nephew. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, it's no interest. That makes sense. Yeah, television is for the extreme.
yeah,
It's
I
called
guess.
like televisuality is what it's called. It's like whatever's on television, it's there because they want to keep you watching.
Right.
And this same logic now applies to like social media and internet. Keep
That's
whatever will keep you watching and coming back, they want to keep it on.
yeah. I
It's
always
a
get the most random stuff on my Facebook feed, like videos from I don't know, but it's always some weird stuff. But I keep watching it for some reason.
yeah, because it's addicting. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
a
but
hundred
sometimes it's
percent.
just people I don't know, like tearing down a house, and I go like, I have no interest in that in a daily life, but now that I see it, these guys are
You're
just
drawn
tearing
in.
down a house.
And it's amazing.
It's like six
Yeah.
minute video, and you just you don't even put the
Oh,
sound on.
yeah. I just want to see it collapse completely
Exactly.
and watch the dust rise.
Yeah.
I just want to see how it ends. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
it
you're
ends exactly how
committed.
you think it would end, and you go like, all right,
Okay.
okay.
What's next?
Uh,
Yeah. No,
so
it's
is everything closed there too? Like in
they reopened last month.
all right,
They reopened everything. Uh but comedy's still technically illegal. They're doing shows like outdoor shows here and there.
right,
They're doing like underground like mics, indoors. Those friends of mine who are doing that, they're making so much money because, it's a lucrative business. And yeah, it's, you could go shopping.
All right.
Like I go food shopping. Um, but I don't go shopping for anything else really.
Well, I think here you like. I mean, the grocery stores are open, and
Yeah.
I think now they open like the hairdressers and
Oh, okay. That's
flower
big.
shops for some
The
reason.
flower shop.
Get yourself a
Yeah.
haircut and some flowers, I guess.
Yeah.
Cheer
Feel
up,
like
you
a
know.
whole new you.
Cheer up. Things are not that bad.
Yeah. Smile. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Summer is coming.
Yeah. Pull yourself together. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm glad that I'm in LA for the winter for sure. Cause, I'll go hiking,
It stays
if
warm
I
over
feel
there, right?
bored. It's much warmer. Yeah. There's no snow.
Yeah,
It gets windy sometimes, but it's not bad.
it was snowing here. I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. It was like a week,
Shit.
or I think a
Hmm.
week or almost 2 weeks. It was below zero all the time. But you have different units, I guess. I don't know how much that would be in Fahrenheit.
Yeah.
Makes absolutely no sense to
No.
me.
Yeah. Celsius makes no sense to me either. It's like the thing
Why?
that exactly why. It's because I grew up on this bullshit that makes no sense. Right now it's 17 degrees Celsius here.
70. That's good.
Yeah, it's 63 degrees Fahrenheit, which is nonsense to you.
How much? What?
Yeah.
At what temperature does water freeze?
For us,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's the fucked up thing. I know the freezing point and boiling point in Celsius, but I
Yeah.
don't know in Fahrenheit.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
makes sense in Celsius.
Yeah,
Like
it's
0 and
easier. Yeah.
100.
Yeah. That's the thing that I couldn't adjust to. Like I changed certain things. Like I changed my phone clock to military time
Right.
when I was traveling because in Europe and everywhere else in the world, everywhere else, South Korea, everywhere, they use military time.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll change it to military time, and I haven't changed it since. I wanted to learn stick shift because when I was in Mexico and I was renting a car, they gave me a car, but it was stick shift, and I was
Right.
like, sorry, stupid American girl here only learned how to drive automatic. And they're like rolling their eyes. And I was like, okay. It took another hour and a half to get a fucking different rental. But that would have
Yeah.
been a good thing. Stick shift is like the rest of the fucking world. Stick shift.
I think
The rest of the fucking world, Celsius.
it's a good skill to have, even if you
It
don't use
is.
it. You know,
100%.
because
In case of an emergency.
exactly, like
You know.
if you're some desert and you're with some person and that person dies, then you go like, oh, I can
Yeah.
drive his car, great.
Yeah. Yeah. I could drive this motherfucker's car. Thank God
Exactly.
he's dead. Yeah,
Instead of
take
going,
his
oh my
car.
god, how do I?
But if it's a stick shift, then you're like, I could have had this car, but now it's useless. It's just garbage, just like this dead guy.
Exactly. I'm
Yeah.
gonna die too.
Dead car, dead guy. Yeah. Might as well kill myself now, because, yeah.
I think there should be like a counter of how many times we go like, hey, maybe you should just kill yourself.
Maybe you should just leave, like, your body, the world. Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe it's time to go. Yeah.
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 Yeah, maybe.
Do you do psychedelics? Or have you done psychedelics?
No.
Never? Not once?
No.
No interest?
Yeah, but I feel like now it's like not the best time because
Oh.
like I have definite interest, but it was never the right time because people always go like, "Oh, you do it when you're in a good state of mind," and I go like, "I'm never in a good state of mind, like
Yeah.
never."
Yeah.
You could go like
Never, ever.
if you have a hint of negativity in you, you're like, yeah, then I'm never gonna do it,
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
you know. And now since the kid is here and all that, I don't, I don't,
Yeah. You want to be responsible
yeah, I
and
guess.
stay present. That's interesting. Why do you think you're always in a negative state of mind? Like, what is that state of mind?
Well, it's not like I'm negative all the time. It's just that I always expect most of the time I always expect the worst to happen.
Uh-huh. So anxiety.
Yeah, maybe I don't know.
That's
What's
called
happening here?
anxiety. It's called
Why am I,
anxiety.
why am I sweating?
No, it's called anxiety when you expect the worst outcome at all times. You know, like
Yeah,
I
I always expect
remember.
like that some shit is just gonna go wrong right now.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. Yeah. Like this. Like your computer's gonna just stop working.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gonna get cut off. Yeah. Yeah. Or this interview's gonna suck, and Grace is gonna be like, "Fuck that episode of the podcast.
yeah,
Christoph is the worst."
it's probably what's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Cheers to that. Yeah.
Self-medicate, you know,
Yeah.
just like my dad used to do.
Yeah. No, I understand that feeling. I used to have that. I remember like when it started to happen. Like I was home a lot alone, often when I was a kid,
Right.
when I was a child. And you know, when you're home by yourself and your parents aren't around and they're away, you just start fearing the worst. You think they all died in an accident, and then, you know, you start wondering who's going to take care of you after you're orphaned and blah blah blah. Like my mind would go all over there. I would start planning like, oh, if my parents die, then like I'll go back to Korea, and I'll like I know which aunt I'd want to live with. Like this one aunt, I think she would take me in. She's pretty cool. You know, like I started planning
Yeah,
like my whole afterlife post dead parents.
yeah, I had that too. Sort of, like I always had that fear of being abandoned.
Hmm.
In a sense, like I used to be like the biggest crybaby when I was in like I was like until I was like in second grade or something like that.
Hmm. Separation anxiety.
Yeah, I guess like in kindergarten I was the worst apparently because I used to cry a lot.
Hmm.
Like when my mom left, I would cry for an hour, and then like an hour before she was supposed to pick me up, I would start crying because I was already dreading her not showing up on time.
Wow.
You know,
Hmm.
so
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
so that
intense.
was always the thing. Like I was always like, oh my god, like,
Yeah,
she's gonna be here
separation
alone
anxiety.
forever,
All the other children will get picked up except
except
me.
me, exactly. And
Yeah.
there's no actual reason for it to happen. Like it's not like they did something
Uh-huh.
that would trigger this in me. You know, it's like they always pick me up,
Hmm.
or
Yeah.
I don't know, it's
It's
weird.
just it's an irrational fear that developed in you somehow. Either something happened that you don't remember, or something else happened that's like by proxy. It's like
Right.
adjacent to that. It's close to that, but it's not quite that.
I wonder what they did before I could remember shit. Those motherfuckers.
Because you have you're the middle child, right?
No, I'm the youngest.
Oh, you're the youngest.
Yeah,
Okay. Then that's even more interesting.
yeah, I'm the youngest.
Oh.
Like my sister used to be like terribly embarrassed by me when I was that like that.
Yeah, it's the worst.
Yeah, because she was like, "Oh, my brother's such a fucking piece of shit."
Yeah. Yeah. He's like crying all the time. Like everybody needs to go and tend to him, and they
Yeah,
expect her to go and tend to you, and she's like, I don't want to. How about I just leave me the fuck alone? Like
exactly.
I remember being that sister because I have a younger brother,
Mm.
and he was a big fucking crybaby. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
I understand that feeling. I guess like I guess I would treat myself the same if I was in her shoes.
mm,
Be like, "Oh my god, this dude
mhm.
sucks." Like, there's no reason for him
God.
to cry. I'm here, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're gonna pick me
Yeah.
up, so they're eventually gonna pick you up too, because you're with me.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So there's no reason
But
for me to
it's
cry. But
this
it's still, I was like, ooh.
but the fear is irrational, you know? That's why it's anxiety. That's why, you know,
Yeah, but
they call it a form of
I think
mental
like
illness.
it stopped at, from one day to the other. Just it just stopped.
One day it stopped.
Yeah, like my mom, like at one point she was like, yeah, I had enough of this shit.
Uh-huh.
So she was like, I'm not gonna pick you up anymore, and you're gonna take the bus.
Okay.
And then I had to take the bus, and then it just stopped.
You became self-sufficient.
It's not like self-sufficient. I just had to get on the bus and get off the bus, like the school bus.
Yeah, but that's self-sufficiency,
All right.
you know? She just said, this is no longer an option.
Yeah.
You getting picked up is no longer an option. It's not going to happen ever. So you could just put that to rest. And you will get on the bus to go to school, and then you will get on the bus again to come back home
Yeah.
where I will be at. Self-sufficiency.
Yeah. That's what happened. That was it, basically.
That's interesting.
Then I never cried
So then
again.
that negativity is still kind of there though, but lingering in a different form, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. Like the negativity in itself. Like I don't know. I think I don't know if it's negativity. I guess it's also a little bit of. I used to have anger issues as a kid. Also, like I remember once there was a like my sister used to tease me a lot, and then I just took a toy airplane. I just rammed it in her door, and there was like this
Jesus.
huge hole in it. I was like, oops. That
Uh-huh.
was like maybe like 4.
Okay.
So I don't know, but my dad used to be a very angry sort of fella.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like
Yeah.
he would hit us or some shit like that, but like he was always like in a ragey mood.
Mm-hmm. And you didn't want to trigger it.
Yeah, like most people like I know, like most friends I have or most friends of my sister also like they were afraid of my dad. Like they were like, I don't want to
Mm-hmm.
talk to that guy
Yeah, yeah,
because he's
yeah.
always looking like
Yeah. Quiet and
yeah,
serious.
yeah, yeah, super serious and. But then I saw a bunch of pictures of him from back in the day, like in the 70s, and like he used to be this fucking party animal, like laid back guy. Like all the pictures of him are like, and I go like, what
Yeah.
the hell happened? Like
Yeah.
what?
Who fucked you up?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then I thought maybe it was us. Maybe it was our fault. This guy was stressed out of his mind.
He had 3 kids and it was just like a miserable time.
Exactly. What happened? That happened.
But there's 3 of you, right? You have
Yeah,
an
yeah.
older brother and a sister?
No, older brother and
Oh
an
my
older
God.
sister. But my older
It's
brother and my
hilarious.
older sister, they have a different dad.
Mm.
But
So you're his only
yeah,
son? Oh, interesting. Oh, okay.
yeah,
Fascinating. Yeah. Maybe it is the responsibility of a father or because I mean your dad's too young to have been in any wars, right?
no, he wasn't in any war.
No.
Maybe a war with himself. Uh,
It's very typical like because in South Korea a lot of fathers are like that. They got this stoicism and this withdrawnness, this repressed emotion
hmm,
kind of thing. The only emotion that they're able to emit is anger. And it's got to do with like the militarism because they're all required to serve in the
right.
military for 2 years, and that hardens them up. And um, it's very like a country that um, enforces like conformity and conventions and uniformity. There's like a lot of pressure around those things. Certain ideations of what masculinity is and what
Hmm,
femininity is, and just those 2 categories and that's it, and like all these expectations, and they're quite boring and conservative and da da da.
right.
So that results in that kind of stoic, sort of reserved masculinity, and also it's a bit like earlier generations.
Yeah.
I would say like millennials definitely are not like that. The generation just above us, millennials, also not so much
Well,
like
Gen
that.
Z,
Well, Gen Z is the ones that come after us.
generation was it
Then
the
is
X?
Gen X. Yeah, they're a little less. They're a little more relaxed.
Right.
Um, but prior to that, like fucking a. But they prior to that it was also like war bait, like people who lived through war.
Yeah, right.
Um,
Yeah, no, my parents are complete baby boomers. Like they were like born in the 50s, like 51, 52.
hmm And your dad's German,
Yeah, he's
right?
German. Like they're both German.
But both of your parents
Yeah,
are
yeah,
German. Okay. But you grew up in
yeah.
Venezuela.
I was born in Venezuela and I grew up there. The thing is, he
Uh-huh.
apparently he went to Venezuela on like he wanted to do like a world trip, and
Uh-huh.
then he got to Venezuela and then he just stayed. That was the end of the
Hmm.
world
And
trip.
then grew serious.
And then he had this party phase, I guess, through the 70s, and then he met my mom, and then
Uh-huh. And then grew
yeah,
serious.
I guess. I mean, he was still doing like he still did fun stuff, like he used to drink and drive and shit like that. It's
Like hilarious things like that, yeah.
I mean, but it's something like what people used to do in the 90s in South America. You go to the beach and then you just drink a couple beers driving home.
Yeah.
Sort of something
Yeah.
like that would happen today. You go like, this is the most irresponsible thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
yeah, it used to be normal, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So you really can't pinpoint exactly where and when your father's, sort of withdrawnness began.
Well, I get like I mean, I guess it's he didn't have the most like easy childhood. Like he was orphaned pretty
Okay.
early.
Oh, okay.
I guess
Yeah.
I think his dad died when he was 3, and his mom died when he was like 10.
Jesus.
And
So who raised him?
I think he lived with his older brother for a bunch
Oh,
of years,
wow. Okay.
and yeah, but he was pretty independent very early. So
Sure. Yeah.
yeah,
Because, well, he had to be. He
yeah,
had
he
to
was
be
also in the
self-sufficient.
military for a bunch of years.
Okay. So yeah,
Yeah,
those things add up.
yeah, to become that
Mm.
person to form that
To
guy.
become that person. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My dad's the same way. My dad lost his father when he was 2.
Right.
My dad's the youngest. So my dad's oldest brothers and oldest sisters, like his oldest brothers were like over 25 years older. Like he had a huge gap.
Hmm.
And yeah, like those brothers were father figures to my dad, but they're not the father. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the way that they are going to treat him is going to be like a sibling, not a father. So that need was never met for my dad.
Right.
And once he became a father himself, he saw all these deficiencies and saw that he had nowhere to turn to ask questions and da da da. And I think that led to a lot of rage and impatience with himself, which came out towards the children.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Yeah. I guess impatience.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
I guess they're pretty
Yeah.
similar.
So yeah. Yeah. So you were the problem. You're right.
See what I mean? I was the issue.
You were the issue, but not the issue per se. You were just the object that brought all of those
To the
things to
surface.
the fore. Yeah, they were always in there, and they will continue to be in there.
Well,
It's
not
just
anymore because he
how does one
died.
make peace with it? What?
That's it. Not anymore because he died.
Your father died?
Yeah, last year, 2.5 years. Like,
Are you
yeah,
serious? Oh my God, dude, I'm
it's
sorry.
okay.
He was alive when I had seen you.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
was
yeah.
still alive. I remember.
Yeah, he was.
Jesus Christ,
He
Christoph,
died
that's terrible.
on 2019, like 31st of December.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I saw you spring of 2019, I think, or
Yeah,
summer.
yeah. At the end of summer, I think you
Yeah,
were
yeah,
here. That
yeah.
was when
And
when
you
the
were,
when the kid was just born, and I was like
yes,
out of my
you were
mind.
super stressed out.
Yeah, like oh my god.
Yeah, yeah, you were losing it.
Yeah,
And you also, I remember you told me a fight that you and your dad had.
yeah. About how he was like, yeah, just let the baby cry and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then I was like, nah, I'm not gonna let him cry. And then he was like, yeah, well then tend to the like it was like this super thing. Like he was like, yeah, just let him cry. He'll cry himself to sleep. And I was like, okay. And then he
Hmm.
was like, do something about the crying baby. And I was like, what the fuck you want? What do you want me to do about it?
Oh, Jesus, your father passed.
Yeah.
Okay. And like, has that brought you some peace, or what was
No,
that experience like?
peace in what sense? Like it's not like it's not like we had a bad relationship. It's
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think we had a bad relationship. We had a very, I mean, I'm sure there were issues there or
Yeah.
unspoken things,
Uh-huh.
but it's not like we were like, oh my God, I don't want to see this
Uh-huh.
person or I hate this person.
Right.
Not at all. I feel
Sure.
like I have this a little bit of regret of not having cleared up these type of things
Mm-hmm.
or talked about these things. So for example, like I was always afraid to ask him about his upbringing or his childhood and shit. Like I think super irrational fears that I go like now I think like why am I so stupid of asking your
Mm.
own dad like dude how was your childhood or how
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. But when I was a kid I was always like no I don't want to like as a kid I was always like I don't want to bother him with this
Mm-hmm.
stuff because he was always
Mm-hmm.
busy working and being stressed at work and stuff
Right.
like that. And then later I felt like, yeah, I think the time has passed for me to ask this question. That was in my
Mm.
head. Like it was always like, yeah, I think, I don't want to give him the impression that I, but it's a stupid thought. Like I didn't want to give him the impression that I didn't know anything about him,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
I rather not ask the question itself.
Right.
But I think most of the things I know of my dad's past, I learned from my mom,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But from her
Yeah.
casually talking about it, like, oh yeah, when your dad was doing this and that, I go like, oh, that's interesting. Let me take
Right.
notes.
To learn about your
Exactly.
father, your at the time your living father through your mother.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's weird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like I haven't really like. I mean, I'm sad about it, and I was really sad when it happened. But I don't think I've really actually started to process the thing itself.
Okay.
I think I just have been pushing it back a little bit because I get distracted with the kid and stuff like that, and you're like,
Of
I don't want
course.
to be sad, and I don't want to do this, and
Yeah.
which is probably not the most healthy thing to do, but yeah,
It's not. It's absolutely not.
that's what the
But
stage
I
is for.
understand. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I understand the logic behind all of those decisions. And I don't think any of them were incorrect or
Right.
invalid. I think they all make complete sense. At the time, that is what it was, and I think it's completely and utterly, yeah, valid. So, yeah, I don't think it's stupid. But I mean, the one upside is you have this understanding now.
Right.
It's like from the son's perspective, what held you back from asking your father or approaching your father with these kinds of questions, which is literally to connect with him, to ask him who he is, who he was, you know? And you have a son of your own,
Mm.
and it's like he can come to you with any question
Yeah, definitely.
about you and your childhood
And I and I
and
and
who you are.
I want like I want them to, and
Yes.
I think a lot of things I want to do different. I want to be more
Yep.
affectionate towards him and more engaging in what he's doing and stuff like that. I feel like that's sometimes I also do feel like he had the same issue with me. Like, how do I approach this
Mm-hmm.
person?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But I'm not sure. Maybe he didn't. I don't, I assume that.
Yeah. Well, I think you might be right because oftentimes people who put on that exterior are they themselves very, very vulnerable and sensitive.
Mm,
Like, I put on this kind of, very sarcastic, dry kind, especially my
right.
stage presence. I'm very sarcastic and dry and cutthroat, but I'm actually a very vulnerable and emotional person. Like, somebody said, they were like, "You're an empath." That's what they said. And I was like, I never thought of myself as an empath because while it's true that I could intuit people's feelings and
Right.
energies when I'm there very strongly, if I sense something that I don't like, I shut it down completely and I ignore that person. I pretend like they don't exist. And they're like, "Yeah, that's because you're an empath," you know?
Right.
But like you doing that is because you want to protect yourself. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm very much an emotional and sensitive person, but I put on this exterior to protect myself.
Right.
And I think that's the same with our fathers too, to an extent. Because you've got this very playful, hilarious side of you, and yeah, like maybe your dad didn't see that as much. I mean, maybe he knew it existed. He just didn't know how to access it or
Right,
something, or
right.
just felt like, oh, like how do I? He's because your dad's clearly, as you've seen from photos, he's had the same side to him,
Yeah,
this
that's what
goofy guy.
always like that's what amazed me because I saw those photos after he passed because I was just looking at the pictures and I was like, damn, like there's this whole other side to him that you didn't know
Hmm.
existed. Pictures of him on
Hmm.
costume parties or stuff like that, but in South America, he's
Hmm.
just hanging out with a bunch of people like all I don't know drunk or
Yeah.
whatever. And I remember when I was a kid, he used to take these trips with his friends to like the Amazon and stuff like that. Where we go like, yeah, that is amazing.
And he was doing psychedelic drugs 100%.
Probably like he used to
Yeah.
take a bunch of pictures. Like he used to go like he I still have like I have his camera now, but he used to
Yeah.
go to like on trips to the jungle and just take pictures and like
Yeah.
it's really a lot like shoe boxes filled with like pictures
Yeah.
of like also indigenous people. Like he just would just go to those tribes people and just go like, oh, let's take pictures and do stuff like that. And it
Yeah.
was yeah, it was pretty like fun to see that side. But it would have
Yes.
been more fun to
You're
talk about it, in a
Of course. Yeah, he would have had stories, but what you have these shoe boxes full of his photographs, his perspective,
right, yeah.
the things that he's seen, you know? And that's amazing. I mean, what a gift. And now you have that camera, and it's like this melding of perspectives. Now you get to point and shoot and take photographs and capture those moments. Maybe your son can do the same. I mean, that's really wonderful.
Pretty probably like,
Yeah.
geez, Dad, get out of my room. I don't want your stinking stupid analog camera.
We could take photographs with our eyes now. Just blink and just take a photo.
I'm filming this
What's with
whole
this bullshit?
interaction.
You have to wind it up and put film in it, and you have to take it
Exactly.
to somebody. And what is this nonsense?
It's so stupid. It's so low quality. It's not even HD.
Uh, it's super precious, though, as you know. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you telling me about your dad's passing
Well, it's sort of like a
and
therapy
this
session,
stuff.
I feel.
I think you need to. I mean, do you get therapy?
No.
I think you should consider it. And if you
I
can't,
don't think
then
guys should go to therapy, to be honest.
they should just like just suppress it all the way in,
Exactly.
just deep down to their gut.
Like
Yeah,
I punch walls sometimes, which I feel is good. Feels good.
yeah. You have to suppress all of your horrible emotions down to your gut, where it turns into cancer and then kills you, and that's what makes you a man.
Well, I mean, at least I got my own destiny in my hand. I'll kill
Yeah,
myself.
you know your exit. Yeah,
It's like, yeah, I'll just give cancer to myself.
yeah. Cancer's not gonna fuck with me. I'm gonna give it to myself.
Like,
This is a suicide mission.
yeah.
Okay.
It's like a very slow
Fucked up,
suicide.
man.
It's like you write a note, like a suicide note, and whatever, like when you're 20, and
Yeah.
you go like, you keep that until I'm dead. Then you die of cancer 30 years later. You go like, see, I told you I'm gonna give
Told
myself
you.
cancer because I hate your face.
Told you. Told you it's gonna happen. Yeah.
I'll try to do that.
But you should even if you can't do therapy, I think you should just like maybe meditate for like 5 minutes a day. Because what meditation is essentially therapy, but for yourself. It's giving yourself time it's giving yourself attention for 5 minutes. Like to think whatever thoughts you have, whether it's grief or anger or sadness or joy or horniness, whatever it is. 5 minutes to yourself and giving that time, I don't know, somehow it like eases some of that anxiety. Because sometimes anxiety is like, I'm not getting my needs met from like exterior
Right.
things, like outside things. So sometimes like I'll be like I want to binge eat a whole pizza, you know,
I never do that.
and ice cream. And I want to drink 2 bottles of wine, a whole pizza, and I want to watch 8 hours of movies. That's it. You know, and I would do. I had
sounds great.
weeks where I did
Sounds like a
this.
great night.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. This was true. Yeah, doesn't that sound wonderful?
Yeah.
But it's obviously it's not. It's not good for me in the long run. It'll make me feel like shit the next day. I'm gonna regret eating so much pizza, drinking so much booze. I'm gonna hate myself for
Yeah.
it. So it's like the question beforehand. It's like, well, what do I need right now? What is it that my body and my mind need that is driving me to want to get these things? And if I ask myself that for a little while longer in meditation, you know, answers come, and then I'm like, okay, I don't actually need a whole entire pizza today.
Just
You know,
half pizza.
just a half a
One.
pizza and
Just
one
one
bottle of
bottle.
wine.
Just the one.
Yeah, yeah, just one for today.
It was a
For the
long
afternoon.
day. You gotta unwind
Yeah,
somehow.
nothing intense, like a Chardonnay or something. You know, very easy kind of stuff.
But how's your
But
relationship with your dad? Like,
you know, that's the thing. That's why it was so interesting talking about it, because I don't have a relationship with my
right.
father right now. Yeah, because you know he was similar, had a shitty temper. My dad's the youngest. You know, all these problems unaddressed. He was an alcoholic, still is an alcoholic technically. You know, alcoholics are always an alcoholic. But then he went and found Jesus and became like this fundamental Christian, evangelical
All right.
Christian. Dragged us all to church
Gee.
twice a week, every single week for like 13 years. I hated it, you know, hated living by his rules. You know, like fathers who are temperamental, as you know, like they kind of set the tone,
Mhm.
like whatever it is, whatever mood they're in, that sets the tone for everybody in the
Right.
house. It was always like that. And I hated that. I was like, just because you're in a shitty mood, like I have to be in a shitty mood, you know? I have to be quiet and careful around you. And like, I'd be lying if I didn't say that helped me develop some skills, you know? I'm very intuitive because of that.
Right.
I have a sense of humor because of that, you know? Like, if my dad's laughing, he's not going to be yelling and throwing shit. So that's a plus, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And so in that regard, it helped. And it's not like he was always a shitty father, you know? Like, he understood that, like, I liked art, so he would, like, buy me art supplies.
Mm.
Like, I liked books, so he would buy me books, you know? Like, he didn't deny me of things that I loved, but the temper thing plus the fundamentalist Christian stuff, that drove me away, because that also led to violence, and I was just like,
All right.
no way, man. Like, fuck this shit, you know? And I didn't like the way he treated my mother, and I hated her for not leaving him, and yeah.
But they're still together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Your face was like,
That's
oh my
why,
God.
yeah. That's basically why I stayed single for 2 years. You know, like I didn't date anybody for 2 years. I didn't even sleep with anybody for 2 years, because I was just kind of like, all the guys I've been dating are kind of like my dad. And I had this sort of stubbornness like my mother by sticking by his side, even though he's a fucking piece of shit loser
Right.
who makes me feel like garbage and demeans me, disrespects me, brings my self-esteem down so low that I can't even get out of bed. And those are the kinds of guys I was addicted to. And then I was just like, one day, no, like life doesn't have to be like this, you know?
Okay.
I get to choose my partner. Why do I have to live like that? Why do I like guys like that? Because guys like that, they choose women that they could prey upon.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I was just like, no more, man. And so, like, last 2 years, it's just been only like acid trips and self-realizations and meditation and matcha. You know what I'm saying? Just living that Southern California hippie life, you
Living the
know,
life.
the shit that I make fun of.
Dude,
Yeah, yeah,
you ever
yeah.
go to Joshua Tree?
I went to Joshua Tree last year, but in the summer, where nobody go, like you're not supposed to go to the desert in the summer. It's a death sentence. Okay, I didn't know this.
Right.
It was still lockdown. My friend and I, we wanted to go camping. All the camping sites were closed because of lockdown. Joshua Tree campsites were open because nobody would go to the desert in their right state of mind. But we don't know. We don't know this. We go to the desert, pitch the tent. We drank 2 big jugs of water We didn't pee not once
All right.
because the moisture would just evaporate out of our pores
Jeez.
and dehydrate you. It is impossibly hot in the desert in the summer.
Yeah, I can
It's like
imagine.
no place for a human being. Yeah. So, yeah, we were supposed to take drugs. I was like, if we take drugs, we will die.
We will die.
100% we will not survive, so let's not take drugs. Yeah, we just fucking at night though it was beautiful, but you're just so exhausted from the heat
Yeah, yeah.
exhaustion that it's just like, but
But
it's
how long did you
immensely
stay?
beautiful. Just one
Just one
night.
night?
I remember at night all these bugs start parading in because the lights are on, like all these kinds of bugs, and I just looked at my friend. I was like, I can't do this another day. Like the sun comes up tomorrow at 8 a.m. We have to get in the car and leave because
Right,
we
yeah.
will die. Yeah, yeah. By 11 o'clock, it'll just be hot again, hot as balls until like 8 p.m.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it usually also gets
So we're
very
just
hot
like,
in the tent before that.
yeah, yeah. You don't sit inside the tent. There weren't even trees for shades. It was like a
Right.
shrub. Yeah. So that's the only shrub that we found too. Like,
I just remember camping
yeah,
in
there were a lot
the
of
beach.
bees.
Like it was like you would be up at 6 in the morning because the sun would hit it, and
Yeah.
then you would be like, oh fuck me, like I don't want
You can't breathe in the tent.
to.
Yeah.
No, and I don't know. I like the idea of camping, the like the theory of it. But then when
Uh-huh.
I'm camping, I'm always like, oh, I hate this. I hate this
It's a
so
pain
much.
in the ass.
It's like,
I know.
especially if you're in the beach, like everything is sandy.
Yeah. It's messy.
Yeah.
You're tired. You're
It's like
sweaty.
everything sticks
It's
to you,
hot.
and you're like, ah,
Yeah. There's bugs
yeah,
everywhere.
mosquitoes.
Yeah. I'm just like, put me up in a hotel.
Yeah,
Like, I love hotels. Yeah.
hotels,
Everything's there.
nice pool.
A pool with no sand and no animals.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I like a pool, like even if it sounds like the worst, I like a pool with a
Yeah.
bar in the pool
Yes.
where people just sit around and never get up, like for 6 hours, and you go like, well, we all peed for sure,
Yeah.
but nobody
We're all
cared.
here. We're sitting in our piss. We don't care because we're drunk.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're just glad that we have this massive bathtub of a toilet
Yeah.
and we got our cocktails going. Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, I want to do that when the kid is a little older. I want to do that and just sit there and then some dude coming like, "Hey, your kid is floating upside down somewhere over there.
Yeah.
Maybe take care of that." And you go like, "Nah, don't worry about it."
Nah. Yeah. Don't tell me how to be a
He said,
father.
"Don't tell
Yeah.
me what to do. Let's fight."
Yeah. What are you, my dad? My dad's dead. Are you my father now? Yeah.
Are you my dad?
Are you dad? Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Let me let me ask you some flashcard questions. Okay.
All right.
So the show that I'm talking about on this show is called Stairway to Heaven. It's like it's a Korean drama, came out like 2003, I want to say. But it's an intense show. Okay, so let's say you're a middle school girl, right? Your name is Chung-seo. You're in middle school, right? Your mother died recently, and your father gets remarried to a very famous actress. This actress has two kids of her own from a previous marriage, all right? She has a teenage boy and a teenage girl. The teenage girl is about the same age as you, right?
Okay.
And your stepsister, her name's Yuri, and your stepmom, they make your life miserable. Whenever your dad's not home, they treat you like shit. They blame you for things you didn't do. Your stepmom locks you in the attic. She hits you in the face and blames you for shit that you didn't do. And your stepsister, Yuri, she takes all your clothes, without asking you. She destroys them after wearing them just to be a bitch. All the while, your father has no idea that any of this is going on. But you don't want to tell your dad that your stepmom is doing this and that your stepsister is doing this because you don't want to disappoint him. What do you do?
Uh, I think I planned a perfect murder, I guess.
Okay.
you know,
Of your
a
stepsister and your
stepsister and
stepmom?
stepmom, you know. If you get really angry at your dad because he doesn't notice, maybe blame it on him. You know?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
He's the fall guy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's what motivated you to go and murder these people.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I always had the thought like, how would you plan the perfect thing? And maybe, maybe just go and take like a tranquilizer, like pills, and just crush them up
Okay.
a little bit,
Yeah.
and always put them in the drinks or whatever at nighttime,
Uh-huh.
a little bit,
Uh-huh.
so that you have in
Just a
your
little bit.
that they get used to it, and then in the hair you can see a history of medication, and then
Mm-hmm.
one day, whoops, I guess they took too many,
Mm-hmm.
and that's that.
Okay, so murdered them.
I guess, yeah, but that's just me,
Yeah, that's just you. It's just what you would do. Doesn't have to be everybody's choice. Okay,
Exactly.
great.
What would you do?
Well, I like what you said. I like murder. Honestly, like I wouldn't give a shit whether or not my dad was happy with this new bitch. I would just be like, I want these bitches out of my fucking house. All right, they're like beating me, tearing up my shit.
Right.
I don't care. I'd be like, I would just tell my dad what's happening. This stupid idiot, she like kept it all close to her chest. All right, let's say you're still the same girl. You're still Chungsa, this middle school girl. Okay, you're in love with a very rich boy. His name is Hongju. Okay, and he's in love with you. You guys love each other. Aw. You're supposed to move to the United States and go to the same private high school as Songju when you finish up middle school. But your evil stepmom, all right, she fucking meddles and she says that she doesn't want you to. She tells your dad that she doesn't want you to leave, okay? Because the evil stepmom has a plan. She wants her child to marry Songju someday. So Songju is going to move to the US and be away from you for 4 years. And you're going to be stuck in Korea with your evil stepmother and your evil stepsister and your aloof father. What do you do?
I'll I'll act out and give him cancer. I'll
Wait, who,
stress.
your dad?
No, everybody. I'll just stress him out so hard.
Everybody. Give the long haul. Okay.
Exactly.
Give them all cancer. Okay, okay,
And
okay.
30 years
Got it.
later, I'll be like, ha!
I wrote it when I was 20. A little note.
No,
Said
I'll
you're all
give you
going to die of
cancer.
cancer.
I'll give you all cancer.
And look at you now. You all have it. Yeah. Okay.
I don't
All
know.
right. So let's say you're the evil stepsister now. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah.
You're Yuri, the evil bitch. Your stepsister Chungsa, she's headed to the airport to see her boyfriend Songju, who's finally back from his studies in America. All right. So you're older now. But you want to stop your stupid fucking sister from seeing him because you want to be with Songju, all right? So you get in the car and you start driving recklessly. And you accidentally hit Chungse with your car. And she's very badly injured. She looks dead. Meanwhile, Songju is waiting for her somewhere. Also, your real brother, your own brother, he saw you do this. What do you do?
Uh, that's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Is she still alive?
She's alive, but she's
She's
unconscious.
unconscious.
Mm-hmm.
I'll drive to the airport,
Mm-hmm.
meet up with the guy, and he's rich, right?
Yeah.
Let's get out of here, baby. Start a new life. Never look back. There's nothing for us
Even though
here in Korea.
even though he's in love with the girl that's passed
Well,
out.
she's dead. I don't know how to
Oh,
break it to
okay.
you, but she died in a badly car crash, and there's nothing to be done. It was her brother,
Oh, okay. So you would blame it on the
of
brother.
course.
Oh,
How
okay.
old is the brother?
He's like in his 20s.
In his 20s. Does he
Yeah.
maybe score some drugs somewhere? Just plant it in his room.
Okay.
It's getting out of
All right.
hand.
More framing. Yeah, yeah. More framing. Okay. Got it. Okay. Let's say you're a whole new woman. Your name is Chisu, all right? You have no memory of your past life. You're just some lady. And you're very grateful to this man you're living with. His name's Chosu, and you guys are dating, okay? You're grateful to him and his father for rescuing you and taking you in from a fire that burned down your home and your whole family, okay? One day, while you're outside, a random rich ass guy comes running to you, calling you Cheongse, and he hugs you, and he's crying, and he's asking, "Where have you been?" And you have no idea who this man is, but you also don't know your own past. What do you do?
Be like, sorry? Who are you? Do I know you? Then he'll explain. I don't know, I guess. Because I can't remember
Because I
shit.
don't know me either. So
It's like, I
yeah,
don't. Who
tell me my
are
story.
you?
Okay.
Are you my uncle? That's a fancy car. I don't.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Good.
Is that the right answer?
There are no right or wrong answers, just only better answers and worse answers. Okay. You're still this amnesiac lady,
All right.
Chisu, okay? One day, your memory comes back.
Oh,
You remember everything, including how your stepmother used to beat the shit out of you. You remember getting hit by a car. You remember your long lost love, Songju. But Songju is engaged to your evil stepsister,
fuck
Yuri.
yeah! See, I told you.
And you also now realize that your stepbrother lied to you, okay? The guy who claimed to have rescued you from the house, the burning house. He's your stepbrother who was in love with you. He lied to you and took away 5 years of your life. What do you do?
I'll push the stepsister down the stairs because
Uh-huh.
that's what you do in South America.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And then I'll just make a scene and storm out and reclaim my long lost love to this other guy.
Okay. All right. Good.
Good. That'll show
All
her.
right. That'll show her. That'll do it. Just push her down some stairs. Yeah. Okay. So you're this rich guy, Songju, okay? The love of your life, Cheongse, finally remembers who you are. She remembers who she is. You guys reunite, okay? But then you find out that the accident she had years ago caused early onset blindness. You also learn that she is dying of cancer. What do you do?
Do I still love her?
Yeah.
Well, just uh, what is my what was I? Was I engaged with the other one?
You were engaged with her stepsister, Yuri, the one that hit her with the car.
Well, I'll just take the like not the stepsister. I just go with the broken one, I guess. The one with the brain damage.
Why?
That seems like the right thing to do. I don't know.
Out of guilt? Because she's broken?
No, not out of guilt. I mean, if you always loved her, then why wouldn't you want to be with that person? I guess even if it's a
Okay.
short-lived thing, doesn't matter if she
Oh,
can't
yeah,
see. It's
right.
her problem, I guess. I don't know. I'm rich, can can pay for the help. I don't know.
Okay. All right, great. Okay. So you're back to being Cheongse, the blind girl with cancer.
A blind girl with cancer, great.
Blind girl with cancer, yeah. Never works out, yeah. Okay, so you have eye surgery, okay? You wake up and you can see. And the doctor tells you that your stepbrother, Teha, committed suicide and donated his eyes to you. So the eyeballs that are in your head right now are your dead suicidal brother's eyeballs. The one who kept telling you that he loved you, but you kept rejecting him. What do you do?
I'll probably go like, ah, now I see his point. I mean, I'm not gonna scratch my eyes out. I can see again, and it was also the same dude that sort of kept this whole car hitting thing. So he just
Hmm.
made up for it.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think I'll forgive him
Hmm.
for the shitty thing, and I'll take
Hmm.
the ice. Thank you very much.
Right. Even. You're even, Steven.
Exactly.
Okay. Great. Wonderful. All right.
Is
It's
that a
lovely
script you're
talking to you.
writing?
No, this is the show for the podcast, K Drama School. This is the K drama that I'm talking
Okay,
about.
okay.
I did not write the script. I wish I could have written such a hilarious script. I don't have it in me. I'm not as talented of a comedian to write such a funny fucking show.
So that show actually exists. Yeah.
Yes, it came out in like 2003 or
Is it
2004,
good?
and it was a winter drama. Yeah.
How many episodes is
Spoiler alert, she does not live. She dies.
that? At the end, she dies of cancer, though.
She dies of cancer, yeah. She gets the eye surgery. That guy killed himself to give her the eyeballs. Still no good. She's still a dead woman.
But
Yeah.
did she like the ice then? Was she like, "Thank you"?
I mean, when she found out, she was horrified. You know, she was like looking at herself in the mirror, rubbing her eyes. It's kind of freaky. I was like, ugh, it's gross. You know what I mean? Like, if
Right.
I found out that like some guy killed himself in order to give me his eyes, I'd be like, that is fucking sick. Get these out of my head right now.
Yeah, but I do feel like there's a lot of people that have that issue, like sports people, that they get
Oh,
like tendons or ligaments of dead people,
uh-huh.
and then
Oh,
some
wow.
people are really messed up mentally because they get that realization that there's a piece of a dead person inside of you. And you just go
Yeah,
like,
it's
ugh, shit.
horrifying. Yeah, it is scary. Yeah, it's like there are two ways to look at it, I suppose, or maybe one more than two ways, but it's like it's either you're grateful,
Right.
you know, but or you're freaked out, or the third dimension, whatever that may be. I'll find out when I take mushrooms on Sunday.
Are you gonna take mushrooms on
Yeah.
Sunday?
Yeah, I rented out a cabin and everything.
Ooh,
Yeah, it's gonna be a good time. It was
nice.
it's lovely talking to you, man.
Yeah, you too.
Next week, I'm going to discuss a very underrated show called Thank You, which came out in 2007. So, this is another old school show. I'm all about the old school shit. I'm old. The show stars Chang Hyuk and Kong Hyo Jin. I love both these actors so very much. It was a real treat to watch. The show is not a happy one, it's not a sad one either. There is intense drama, though, and there is an intense female strength behind it, and I relate to that. I also did get a fan letter requesting that I cover the show Secret Garden. Okay, I'm happy to do this. I don't like the show necessarily, but I will rewatch it and I will cover the show because I got a fan letter requesting it. So if you guys have TV shows that you want me to discuss on this podcast, email me at kdramaschool@gmail.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at kdramaschool. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram at kdramaschool. I also got some tweets talking about Penthouse 3 and how racist it is. I have a lot to say about that, but I'm not going to talk about it right now because I'm not about getting sucked into the negativity on Twitter. I know that that is the expectation. I'm just not going to give into it. So I'm going to talk about that way later when I feel like talking about Penthouse, which is not now at the moment. So thank you all for listening. You guys are the greatest. I will see you all next week.